Hello. In this video, I will be demonstrating how WetStone Labs Gargoyle Investigator MP supports forensic investigators, law enforcement, and cybersecurity teams in rapidly identifying malicious applications hidden within digital evidence or machines. During an investigation, analysts are often faced with large and complex datasets, sometimes containing millions of files from computers, servers, or forensic drive images. Hidden within that data may be hacking tools, credential theft utilities, remote access programs, and other potentially unwanted programs. Traditional antivirus solutions frequently overlook these items because they may not fit a strict malware definition. However, from an investigative perspective, they can be key evidence revealing compromise, capability, or intent. Gargoyle Investigator MP is designed specifically for this challenge. It can scan both live systems and forensic images, rapidly identifying known malware, potentially unwanted programs, and dual-use tools. Each detection is accompanied by a detailed classification, file path, and hash values, allowing for accurate documentation and efficient reporting. Now let's take a look at how this works in practice by running Gargoyle on a sample evidence set. So we're here on Gargoyle now. You can see we have the drives and directories on the left-hand side here that we'd like to scan. Then below that, if you have a nscript result from ncase or a hash file, you can utilize those to scan, and any detections that are found will be reported. Then below that, you can select custom datasets that you've created for looking for zero-day threats or things along those lines. And below that, you can select any directories that you'd like to exclude from scanning, so they will be completely bypassed and skipped. Now going up to the scan type selection, we have the factory dataset scan. So this is regarding the factory dataset that's released by us here at WetStone on the 15th of every month. This contains all the detections. Below that, the supplemental dataset scan. So the supplemental dataset is released alongside the factory dataset, but the detections aren't verified by us firsthand, but they are gathered from third-party reputable sources. Below that, we have the custom dataset scan that we can enable if we are going to utilize a custom dataset, and you can see that that does disable the factory dataset and supplemental datasets scans. Below that, we have YARA scanning that we can select. So this will enable YARA scanning, which YARA rules are kind of like a regular expression for a program. You can write rules using certain parts of the program, and it will actually look for that program based on those rules. So then below that, you can go ahead and enable YARA scanning of active processes. So this will go ahead and scan processes that are running in the background. So if there's a program that's running only in the background to hide itself, this can help find it. For scan options here, we can select scan archives, and that's one thing that actually sets Gargoyle apart from other malware discovery tools, is most malware discovery tools only go one level deep into the archive, whereas Gargoyle will go as deep as the archive goes. So there could be 10 archives with a file at the end of it, and Gargoyle will find that file at the end of it still, whereas the others will not. Below that, you can enable scanning network files. This will scan any OneDrive files that are set up on the machine. And then below that, you have your different reporting options. So you have CSV report, an HTML report, and log results. So with the HTML report, if you disable this, this does also disable the PDF report. Create hash file, you can go ahead and utilize that if you want to have a hash file to scan against later, as we discussed here. And then debug logging is just for if there's any issues. All right, so if we go ahead and select our drive here that we want to scan, we can select GMP. Then we can go ahead and hit scan here. Now we can see we have our screen for the scan information. We can enter the investigator details, the organization information, and the case ID. And then below that, we can select all the categories that we would like to scan. And you can see some of the categories that are here are Trojans, sniffers, remote access, keyloggers. If we wanted to, we could hit deselect all and select just keyloggers, for example, if we think there might be a keylogger on here. But for now, we'll go ahead and just hit select all and start scan. You'll go ahead and see it will actually start scanning immediately. And you can see our hits on the right-hand side here climbing up. Currently, we're at 66. And you can see on the bottom, we also have the status of it. And we also have this status bar here that is showing the progress of the scan. You can see the scan is now completed. It processed 468 files, which was 652.9 megabytes in 15.3 seconds. And we had 81 hits. So now, if we go ahead and hit this View HTML button, we can go ahead and get into looking into the actual report itself. All right, so now that we're here on the actual report, you can see we chose the HTML report, and the reason why we did this is it gives you a little bit more control with the navigation bar up here at the top. But we can see that we have all the overview information up here at the top, such as the version of Gargoyle, the version of the data set, the when the scan occurred, and also all of the information that we saw there on the UI when we conducted our scan, such as how many files were scanned, how many bytes were scanned, and how many suspicious files were detected. You can then see the investigator and organization information that we input, as well as the information of the system that we scanned. You can see here are the options that we'd selected on the user interface, and here are the categories that we'd selected as well. Then you can see we have our scan target here, which is just where we selected to scan. And then below that, we start to get into our detection results. So we start off with the bar graph here, and you can see it shows the program count per category. So we had 2 anti-forensic programs, 1 password cracking, 1 peer-to-peer, 1 remote access, and 1 spyware. If we go ahead and get into looking into these actual detections, we can see here that anonymous VPN was detected. The original file name is anonymousvpn.exe, and the detected file name shows the original location. You have the file size, as well as the MD5 and SHA-256 hashes, as well as when the file was last modified, accessed, or created. And one of the nice things about Gargoyle is you can see here that it did actually find the exact executable for the file. But if we go to a different program, like let's say Tor browser, you can see here that the file that was detected is accessible marshal.dll. So this is just going to be an accessory file that assists the program in running. So if a user tried to remove Tor browser and accidentally left this one file behind, it can then be used as an indicator of intent or compromise that that person has had this program on their machine. If we then go ahead and go down, we can see the directory hotspots here, where we can choose how many hits need to be in a directory for it to be displayed or not. So if we go ahead and just drag this up to 10, we can then go ahead and view the different directories that had more than 10 hits inside of them. So this can be used to help you look into if you have multiple people using a system. This can help you actually look into what user maybe had files in their user folder and what person is becoming a problem consistently. Gargoyle Investigator MP delivers the visibility and precision investigators need to identify malicious applications that other tools miss. Thank you for watching. If you would like to learn more information about Gargoyle Investigator MP or any of our other products, please contact our team. Thank you.